It's somewhere around 20,000 years ago in what will eventually be called Siberia, but right now it's just called hell frozen over. Your mom has been in labor for 22 months. Yeah, you heard that right. 22 months of you kicking around inside her while she's trudging through blizzards and dodging saber-toothed cats. But finally, after all that waiting, you tumble out onto a patch of frozen ground covered in a thin layer of blood and ice. Congratulations, you're a mammoth, and you're about to have the worst 60 years of your life. Well, if you even make it that long. Right now, you're basically a 200-pound ball of wet fur, shivering in wind that feels like it's trying to physically remove your skin. Your mom nudges you with her trunk, which is sweet and all, but what you really need is to figure out how to stand up before something with teeth notices you exist. You wobble to your feet, legs shaking like you've had 47 cups of coffee, and immediately face your first life or death decision. Do you try to nurse, or do you just lie back down and accept your fate? You go for the milk. Smart choice. That stuff is basically liquid survival, 11% fat, designed to pack on pounds faster than you can say hypothermia. But here's the thing. Your mom has been walking for weeks to find this spot, a tiny pocket of the Mammoth steppe where the grass isn't completely buried under 6 feet of snow. And she's exhausted, and she's starving. And there are about 15 other mammoths in your herd, and all of them are wondering if this pathetic little furball, that's you by the way, is even going to survive the next 24 hours. Spoiler alert, most calves don't. You spend your first week basically glued to your mom's side because if you wander more than 10 feet away, a pack of dire wolves will absolutely turn you into an appetizer. You watch one of your cousins make that mistake. He doesn't come back. The adults don't even stop walking. There's no funeral, no moment of silence, just the crunch of snow under 8-ton feet and the wind screaming across the steppe like it's personally offended by your existence. Welcome to the Ice Age, kid. Population, too many things that want to eat you. For the next few months, life is pretty simple. Eat, walk, sleep, try not to die. Your mom teaches you the basics. How to use your tiny trunk to grab sedges, how to dig through snow with your forehead because your tusks haven't grown in yet, and most importantly, how to stay close to the matriarch. That's your grandmother, by the way. She's 55 years old, absolutely massive, and she remembers every single water source, salt lick, and migration route within a 500-mile radius. Her tusks are scarred and chipped from decades of digging, fighting, and generally refusing to die, and if she says move, you move. One day you're grazing near a frozen riverbank when you notice something weird. There's a mammoth skeleton half buried in the ice, ribs poking up like a cage, skull tilted at an angle that makes you feel uneasy. What happened to him? You ask your mom with a trunk gesture. She doesn't answer, she just keeps walking. You'll understand soon enough. By the time you hit your first birthday, you've figured out the game. The Mammoth steppe is a massive buffet, sure, but it's a buffet where every single item is frozen, buried, or guarded by something with claws. Grasses, sedges, willows, you'll eat pretty much anything that doesn't eat you first. Your molars are built for this, covered in ridges that grind down tough, gritty plants like a biological wood chipper. The only problem? You need about 400 pounds of this stuff every single day. Yeah, 400 pounds. So, you spend about 18 hours a day just eating, chewing, swallowing, walking to the next patch, repeat. It's exhausting, and boring, and cold. Did I mention it's cold? Because it's really, really cold. The kind of cold where your breath freezes mid-air and falls to the ground like broken glass. The kind of cold that makes you wonder if warmth is even real, or just a story the adults tell to keep you motivated. But you've got some tricks up your furry sleeve. 2 layers of fur, 1 woolly undercoat, and 1 long shaggy overcoat that makes you look like a walking carpet. Underneath that, a fat layer about 4 inches thick that would make any modern elephant weep with envy. Small ears, so you don't lose heat. And hemoglobin, that's the stuff in your blood, specially tuned to work in freezing temperatures. Basically, you're a living furnace wrapped in a blanket wrapped in another blanket. And you're going to need every bit of that insulation because winter is coming. Again, it never really leaves. But it does get worse. You're about 5 years old when you experience your first real winter. Not the mild garbage you've dealt with before, but a true Ice Age nightmare. Temperatures drop so low that the inside of your trunk feels like it's freezing solid. Snow piles up so high that even the matriarch can't dig down to the grass. The wind howls for days without stopping, and every morning you wake up to find that another member of the herd didn't wake up at all. This is when you learn about the energy equation. Calories in, calories out. If you can't dig up enough food to match what your massive body burns, just staying warm, you die. It's that simple. No second chances, no participation trophies, just math written in frost and starvation. Your herd starts moving south, following routes that your grandmother's grandmother's grandmother memorized. You walk for weeks, stopping only to sleep and eat whatever you can find. Your legs ache. Your tusks finally growing in, feel heavy and awkward, and you're so hungry that you start eyeing tree bark like it's a gourmet meal. It's not. It tastes like frozen sadness. But you make it through, barely. By the time spring arrives, which is less flowers blooming and more slightly less murderous cold, you've lost about 30% of your body weight. Your ribs are showing, your fur is matted and dull, but you're alive. And that's honestly more than you expected. The herd celebrates by eating, just eating. For weeks, you pack on weight like your life depends on it because, well, it does. This is your chance to build up reserves before the next winter comes around to kick you in the teeth again. You munch on fresh grasses, the kind that actually have flavor instead of just grit and sadness. You even find some flowers, tiny fragile things that taste sweet and make you wonder if life is actually worth living after all. Spoiler, it is. Kind of. You're 10 years old now and officially a juvenile mammoth. You're about 7 feet tall at the shoulder and weigh close to 2 tons. Your tusks are growing longer, curving upward in a way that looks cool but is actually incredibly useful. You can dig deeper, fight harder, and signal your status to other mammoths from a distance. But size comes with problems. Bigger body, bigger appetite. You need even more food now, and the steppe is starting to feel a little crowded. More mammoths, more competition, and oh yeah, the climate is doing something weird. The glaciers are retreating. Sounds good, right? Wrong. When the ice pulls back, forests creep in. Forests mean trees. Trees mean shade. Shade means less grass. Less grass means less food. And less food means the mammoth steppe, the entire ecosystem you've evolved to dominate, is slowly disappearing. But you don't know that yet. You're too busy trying to impress a female mammoth who absolutely does not care about your existence. Mating season is brutal. You've got competition, other males bigger and stronger and more experienced than you. They've got thicker tusks, deeper bellows, and the kind of swagger that only comes from surviving 30 winters. You try anyway. You posture, you bellow, you even try to shove one of the older bulls. He shoves back. You go flying, tusks over trunk, and land in a snowbank with all the grace of a collapsing glacier. The female doesn't even look at you. She's already walking away with the winner. You'll give romance another shot later. Or maybe not. For now, you've got bigger problems. Literally. There's a group of humans camping about 2 miles from your herd, and they've been watching you for days. You don't know what humans are yet. They're small, weak-looking, no claws, no fangs, barely any fur. They look like they should be prey. But there's something about the way they move, coordinated, deliberate, that makes your instincts scream danger. One morning, you're grazing near the edge of the herd when you hear a sound. A whistle. Sharp, high-pitched, not natural. You look up just in time to see a stick, no, a spear, flying through the air. It misses you by inches. The herd panics. Mammoths scatter in every direction, trumpeting in alarm, and you run faster than you've ever run in your life. Your lungs burn, your legs scream, and behind you, you hear the humans chasing. They don't give up. They're patient, methodical, driving you toward a cliff, a ravine, somewhere you can't escape. One of the older bulls isn't fast enough. You hear him scream. You don't look back. Humans, you decide, are officially the worst. You're 20 years old now, fully grown, standing 11 feet tall and weighing about 6 tons. Your tusks are over 12 feet long, curved and magnificent and scarred from a lifetime of digging and fighting. You're an adult mammoth, and theoretically, you're at the top of the food chain. Theoretically. In reality, the world is falling apart. The forests are everywhere now, choking out the grasslands, and the herds are smaller. Migration routes that used to be reliable now lead to dead ends, wetlands, and forests where you can't find enough food. The matriarch, your grandmother, is getting old. Her teeth are worn down to nubs, and she's losing weight no matter how much she eats. One day, she just stops walking. The herd gathers around her, trunks touching her gently, but there's nothing anyone can do. She lies down in the snow and closes her eyes, and just like that, 60 years of knowledge, of remembered routes and water sources and survival strategies is gone. You're the matriarch now. Well, not you specifically, but the next oldest female, and she doesn't know half of what your grandmother knew. The herd is lost, literally. You wander for months, trying to find the old routes, the good grazing areas, the safe places to winter. But everything has changed. The steppe is fragmenting, breaking into tiny islands of grass surrounded by forests and bogs. Your herd gets smaller. Some mammoths wander off and never return. Others die from starvation, disease, injuries that would have healed in better times, but now just fester and spread. You develop a limp. A fight with another bull, months ago, left you with a fractured rib that never quite healed right. It aches in the cold, and it's always cold. You're 30 years old and you're tired. Not just physically, though that's part of it. You're tired of walking, tired of digging, tired of watching members of your herd die one by one while the world around you transforms into something you don't recognize. But you keep going because that's what mammoths do. You dig through snow, you chew gritty grasses, you follow the new matriarch even when her decisions seem random and desperate. And then one day, you find an island. Not a real island, but a pocket of steppe that somehow survived, tucked away in a valley where the forests haven't reached yet. There's grass here. Real grass. And your herd, what's left of it, settles in like refugees finding sanctuary. For a few years, life is almost good. You eat, you rest, you even manage to have a calf of your own, a little female with bright eyes and a trunk that doesn't quite know how to work yet. You teach her everything you know: how to dig, how to listen to the matriarch, how to avoid humans. You don't tell her that the grass is disappearing. You don't tell her that the island is shrinking every year. You don't tell her that the genetic diversity of your tiny herd is so low that half the calves are being born with defects, weak bones, bad teeth, immune systems that can't fight off infections. You just let her be a kid. You're 50 years old and your teeth are almost gone. Mammoths grow 6 sets of teeth in a lifetime and you're on your last pair. They're worn down from decades of grinding gritty, abrasive plants, and soon they won't be able to chew anything at all. When that happens, you'll starve. Slowly, painfully, inevitably. But that's a problem for future you. Right now, you've got a more immediate issue. There are humans on the island. They didn't follow you here. They just appeared one day, building shelters, setting traps, hunting everything that moves. Your herd tries to avoid them, but the island is small. Too small. Encounters become inevitable. One of the young bulls tries to defend the herd. He charges at a group of humans, tusks lowered, ready to crush them into the ground. But they're ready. Spears fly. The bull goes down. And the humans, efficient, terrifying, strip the carcass for meat, bones, tusks, everything. You watch from a distance. You feel something that might be anger, might be grief, might just be exhaustion. You decide humans aren't worth fighting. You'll give them another chance at life. But if you see them again, they're done for. Or maybe not. You're 60 years old, the oldest mammoth in the herd, and probably one of the last mammoths anywhere. The island population is down to about 30 individuals. Genetic diversity is gone. Every calf born now has something wrong with it. The forests have surrounded the island completely. There's no escape. Your daughter, the one you taught to dig and survive, is the new matriarch. She's smart, strong, doing everything right. But it doesn't matter. The math doesn't work anymore. There's not enough food, not enough space, not enough genetic health to sustain a population. You're just waiting for the end. One winter, harsher than usual, you can't find enough food. Your body starts cannibalizing itself, burning muscle to stay warm, shutting down non-essential systems. You lie down in the snow one night, too tired to dig, too weak to walk. Your daughter touches your trunk with hers. A goodbye. You close your eyes and think about the steppe, the real steppe, the one from your childhood, endless and golden and full of grass. You wonder if it was ever really there or if you just imagined it. And then you're gone. 150,000 years later, scientists find your bones on what used to be Wrangel Island, your tusks curved and scarred, your teeth worn to nubs, your bones showing fractures that healed and arthritis that didn't. They carbon date you, extract your DNA, read your isotopes like a diary. They learn everything: the droughts, the winters, the starvation, the isolation, the genetic collapse. They publish papers. They build models. They warn about habitat fragmentation, climate change, human pressure, extinction cascades. They call you a lesson. And maybe that's enough. Maybe the mammoth story isn't just about dying. Maybe it's about teaching the ones who come after how to survive when the world shifts faster than life can adapt. You were a mammoth during the Ice Age. And yeah, it sucked. But your bones remember. And if anyone's listening, maybe that memory becomes wisdom. This has been the life of a mammoth. Thanks for walking the steppe with us.